Welcome back everyone to Welstopia, and we now have 2 villagers here, which is the minimum we'll need in order to get things started. So we have that taken care of. Now, I have also done some rearrangement here on this farm here, in that my melon farm and all that stuff is of course still here. That's really not changed all that much. But I did create a sugarcane farm built on a similar pattern. Now, there are a few differences because of how you harvest melons versus how you harvest sugarcane. So, therefore, the slime blocks now are at 2 and 3, just pushes them in, and everything's all nice and well on that. And I don't need the extra set of pistons that I have in the other farm. So it's actually a slightly more compact design than the melon farm was, and I am getting sugarcane out of this. I have both of them feeding into the same hopper here, which is something I probably should have done when building this farm over here, and perhaps I'll change it around a little bit so I could do that. But that'll be for later. Right now, I need to figure out where to build an iron farm. Now, this will be my first iron farm, and I'd want it to be reasonably close to where this little house is here, because I want to be able to relatively easily be able to get the villagers from here to my farm. And I figured this would be a good spot right here. This white over here, white over here, white over here. So we have a 16 by 16 area here. And I think what I need to do is just to turn this into a little area where I could put my iron farm. Now, I am using a design by Nims TV, which is a 10 by 10 area. It does go up a little bit into the air, but not as far as some of those big massive farms I'm seeing. I think Obscura might be using the same type of farm in here, and he seems to be getting reasonably good results of it. If he's not using the same design, he looks like he used one that looks at least similar to it. So let me chop down a few trees and set out my 10 by 10 area, and we can get started. I have selected my area. This little 4 by 4 area is going to be the drop point. No, it's not going to be raised, but I did that so I will know where it's located. And the 4 corners of the farm are right there. And so therefore, it is time to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10. I think this is about how high you're supposed to go. They do one more for good measure. And let's start making my little area here, and be happy that I've got feather falling, because you know that. Okay, let me count this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay, that's why it looks like I've got 2 more to go. Alright, good. So what I have to do is I have to fill this in except for the 4 center ones, and that'll give us our spawning platform. And here's our first spawning platform. I decided to place granite at the 4 corners, similar to what I'm doing at the sugarcane farm and the pumpkin melon farm. And that's so it will just fit in with everything else. I don't know what I'm going to be doing at the bottom of this, because having it just in the air like this probably won't work. So I have to turn this into some sort of tower. I was thinking that maybe a lighthouse would be appropriate, but this is a very poor spot for a lighthouse. Right where that pumpkin melon farm is, that's a good place for a lighthouse, because it's jutting into the river, and Yeah, that's the most likely place something could go wrong in navigation. Either there or right on that island right over there are the two most likely places. So therefore, I might decide to turn that melon farm into a little bit of a lighthouse. Because let's face it certainly doesn't look pretty at the moment. Now, I decided to place water in the center area down there for the moment, so if I needed to get down quickly, I have a way down. But now, we need to get to the next stage. Next, we are going to need some walls that we'll be putting, and these will be up here. 3 high walls all the way around, except at the corners. And this is going to serve as a wall against which we'll be placing our doors, because you are going to need a doors in a iron farm. And the other thing that they'll be serving is to help to keep the iron golems from getting out once they spawn in here. And oh yeah, the third thing is to contain the water, of course. We have a full set of walls, and this little extra dirt I put in is just some scaffolding for the next phase, where we are going to be putting in some doors. And I have 45 doors here, which is a bit overkill because I only need 40. I've taken away the doors from there, so I no longer have any competing doors in the area. And I'm just going to be placing these doors down around here so that I'll have a full set of 40 doors, which should be plenty for handling everything here. Now, I'll also need a little bit of glowstone. And the glowstone is going to be going right here at the corners, and that's just to prevent hostile mobs from spawning and all sorts of stuff like that. So let me finish getting these doors installed. Now that my doors are up, I can place the second platform, which is now going to go all the way on the outside here. Can I reach it from here, since it'll be rather awkward to do it from the dirt? Yeah, there we go. So now we get to place these all around on the outside there. Oops. Preferably without opening up the doors. And this particular one I chose because the person who made the video made the impression that it was so easy that even I could build it, which I think is pretty much of a summary of this one. There is going to be one really tough part near the end, and that's, of course, the thing that's always the pain in any of these farms. Getting the villagers to get up here. Always the fun bit with this. Alright. And now we've got to fill this in, because this is going to be just like what we've got down here. How am I going to do this? Let me think on that. I decided to do it from here, and I covered this up with dirt so that I could pillar up in order to do this next section. And the idea of putting the dirt in the middle here, I just remembered I saw it being done by Obscurum in a recent video, and in fact that's what reminded me that I had been wanting to do an iron farm. So now let us oh well. Oh, maybe not the brightest idea. Okay, yeah, of course not. I could just close that door, close that up. And let's get back up, and hopefully I won't do another misplaced block. Right, now I need to get up another wall here, except this time the wall is only going to be one high. So let's go around here. And let's get around like this. Yeah, probably best to put one in the corner there, actually, now I think of it. So put this here, and we'll go all the way around, except when we run out of wood, which is, of course, inevitably going to happen. That's happened quite a bit during this project. And I'm going to have to get some more. Whee! Perhaps my next build should be a tree farm. That way I could always be sure to have plenty of wood on hand. But our next step on here is to place glass. I presume the reason for this is to avoid hostile mob spawns, because that would be a logical thing to want to avoid. And also even to make it so that the golems won't spawn on there either. So that's why glass would be used instead of just lighting things. There we go. Good is to have the only places where we want golems to be spawning is, of course, right on top of this platform here. Now that's done, let us just add water. And I presume that's the reason for the dimensions that we've got here. Now, of course, it would have been useful if I had... Yeah. I need 2 buckets of water. Great planning. Now I have my buckets. What I'm going to do here is temporarily create an infinite supply here. We'll have to get rid of that later, of course. Because what do we want to do is to place water into each of these 4 corners. And now we'll just have to fill this center part in with dirt to get rid of the water. And the idea there is this water all comes down and stops right here, which is exactly where we want it to stop. Hence the size. Good. And bring this down here. And that's the top area done. So now for the second area, I think we need to get rid of this bed. And do this same thing here. I'll have to go down there though and refill my buckets. We're back up here, so we'll do what we did last time, of course, is to create another temporary infinite. Right. Alright, now we create another temporary infinite supply. Put it into here. 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 This time I'll remember to refill my buckets here. I know I don't need it again, but that's what I should have done last time in order to not have to go down again. That's taken care of. And this is the one that leads down. And that takes care of our spawning platform. That is everything we need for this, except for one little thing. Yep, you said it right. I heard you say it. That's right. We need to get villagers up there. Oh, fun. Actually, there are 2 things I need to do. In addition to getting the villagers up there and making the place where I'm going to be keeping them, I'm also going to be needing my killing mechanism, because without that, the farm isn't going to be collecting much iron. And the killing mechanism will go over here. Now this is going to be a traditional type, which means using the killing with lava. In the NEMS TV version of this, he had set up a filter where you'll separate the poppies from the iron, and I'm not going to bother with that. I should learn how to make a good filter at some point in the future. But I think that's outside of the scope of today's build. So I'm going to leave that out. Maybe if I make another one of these iron farms, I could work with the proper filter and take care of that. Now what I want to do next is get some glass around here. And what I'm going to need to do is, let's see, okay, now that that's enclosed, that was mainly there for a marker to tell me where everything was. Good. Put a torch there for lighting. Yes. Now, what we do is we have this chest here, just a couple of hoppers to collect the stuff, and we need to take this glass and bring it all the way up to there. But I don't have enough glass for that. So therefore, I am going to transition into another material so that I'll be able to maintain the glass to see what's going on here, and of course keep the transparency to open up the chest, but still not use up entire riverbed's worth of sand in order to do it.